Oh, excuse me.
Well, what are you, my son?
Uh-huh.
Hi,
He,
we're Ten
he
Cars Tavern tonight.
Yeah.
yeah. Welcome to Dungeons, Dragons, and Discourse. Glenn is belching.
Triple
Ten
B.
Cars bitching. Listen, it's your normal show, but
Yeah.
a little abnormal. We have
We got
John tomorrow with
Don up
Colleen.
here.
He's a bonus. He's a bonus.
He is.
So listen, it's a Friday night. We're all a little punchy for different reasons. Um, I'm
Yeah.
punchy because I literally thought I lost my key fob on the street to my car and was having the imaginings of somebody driving off with my car, and then I found it in the hallway laundry basket that Rach
That's
knocked it
right.
into. Just saying. Just saying. It's looking for an hour. I find it in the last place I was ever going to look. So,
Okay. Okay. Let's get down. First thing. What are we all drinking?
I am drinking green tea.
Amateur.
Tree hugger.
Rum and Coke.
I move on to the alcohol
Oh
after
my
the show.
God. Oh man.
Somebody has to be sober for this shit.
I got drunk around here, and apparently last time I did that with Becky. Apparently she didn't like the outcome because next day she went in and threw all the rum away.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And at the time, I really didn't want to argue about it.
I only have one. I don't drink to excess. I'll have one during the show, and that's about it.
But two will get me. I'm a lightweight. That's all I can say is I'm a lightweight. I'm drinking Arnold Palmer.
Okay.
That's my go-to drink now.
What is an Arnold Palmer?
It's half sweet tea, half lemonade.
Oh God. I'll stick with rum and Coke.
What? What's wrong with it? It's pretty good.
It's a very lemony iced tea. All right, that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah. What do you drink non-alcoholic?
Me?
Yeah.
Straight tea.
Just regular old iced tea.
Iced tea with no sugar usually in it. Nothing. Just straight iced tea.
Before I moved here, you couldn't pay me to drink regular iced tea.
Coffee. Black coffee.
Okay,
That's probably 90% of my intake during the day.
Okay, no problem. I couldn't take regular iced tea, and then I moved to Oklahoma, where I found out down here it's like, hey, sweet tea, this is all right.
Oh, but it's all sugar. I can't.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Yeah, I know.
That's why I can't do more than one rum and Coke. It's just the sweetness of it kind of tops me out. You know, because my coffee, I drink black. My wife, she's into all the creamers, weird flavors, all that. I'm not. Black coffee, strong as I can get it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we got Don here. Let's do a quick Gangbusters recap. Quick.
Sure.
How's it going? How's the
going well? The print and bind will be done probably by midday Monday. So, Gangbusters core rules and Rock Junction, the campaign setting will be done through our print and bind process through the weekend. Probably by midday Monday, we'll have it wrapped up. Books will be shipping probably by the end of the week.
Right.
And so, yeah, we're sitting good. We have
and
a couple.
You will be sending me the corrected core, right?
Yes, sir, I will be.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Happy to oblige. Editor.
Because like I told you before, I'm kind of want to get it printed out because I'm chomping at the bit to take it to my one and only lonely game store down here and just like, anybody want to play?
Well, I mean, the thing is, you know, it takes time, and we had a little bit of an issue, like I said before, because Mark was using like Word 2003.
Yeah, you told me.
Yeah, so when we got it, it really did weird things. In fact, it was so bad, even Adobe technical support could not unscrew it when I sent it to them. They were like, whoa. Wow. So Mark, to his credit, did upgrade to Word 2025 like we are. So that does go well with our InDesign. It works a good conversion. So,
well, if I ever had anything to you to publish, it'll probably be, well, I've got LibreOffice, which
that works fine.
Yeah, because I said, well, what version do you want me to put it in? I can put it in like half a dozen Word versions.
And even if it's Word 2010, the conversions go very smoothly. But anything before 2010, it's been deprecated out by Microsoft. So all the font supports and all that, and there's weird things that Microsoft does that changes the way the encoding in the Word doc.
Really?
That when InDesign goes to read it, it like will turn apostrophes into like 3 or 4 Chinese characters. That was one of the big problems we had.
Oh, I hate when it does that, or any kind of dingbat.
Yes. Yeah. So that was the big issue that we are having, and Mark does not do traditional manuscripts. Right. He actually formats everything in 2 columns.
The worst thing I saw that's in my collection right now, and I don't blame the authors, I blame the publisher, is I've got a copy of Victorious up there from Trollord. I know Mike and Liz, and and I don't blame them. I don't blame Mike at all, because what drove me crazy is every time it referred to another section of the book, it would say, see page XX.
Oh.
And it's like, they couldn't actually put the page number in there.
Well, now listen, I love the Trolls. Castles and Crusades was my return to gaming rule set. It was my introduction to the OSR. I loved Crusader magazine. So, but first edition C&C was riddled with typos. Riddled with that.
I had a copy of the Players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the reason being is because I believe initially their editor was a spell check. They've gotten better over the years, but if I was going to red pen, and I've done that, and I apologize to anybody I've red penned online, but you got what you put yourself in for. I would destroy my books because they are notorious throughout the print. It's gotten better, but it hasn't been eliminated. And when you're a company the size of Trollord, you should not be having that many typos, that many.
Well, the problem that you run into is also, what is the pace that you're putting the game out at?
Right.
That's the big thing. I mean, there's a process that when you put a game out that you're supposed to go through. You're supposed to get the manuscript. That manuscript is first checked to make sure that it basically complies with your type of file. Then it goes to editing. When editing's done with it, it goes to you. As long as it's not a content edit where they're not changing rules, if they're just doing grammar, punctuating, spelling, GPS editing, it goes to layout. Fugly said something real interesting. He said, Microsoft is not your friend. And there's a difference between apostrophes and such. You're right, but the problem is Microsoft is still the standard document that is imported into InDesign. And InDesign is designed to read the Microsoft documents. And, we're not talking about apostrophes and smart quotes. We're talking about commas.
Yeah.
Even commas. Periods, but at weird places. So it was just doing some weird stuff, and you just gotta. Those are the things that can really put a project behind.
Yes. My wife, Becky, is trying to find she wants to get a license for Quicksilver.
Huh.
She was trained on that at Boeing, and she says, "I love that so much. Now I'm retired. I want to see if I can get a license so I can use Quicksilver."
Your wife is retired from Boeing?
Yes, she is.
My uncle Oscar is retired from Boeing.
Really?
Huh. He was a senior engineer with Boeing.
She was in documentation. They worked on the manuals for the B-1.
Nice.
Wow.
She said we'd be editing the manuals that tell the pilot and the soldiers how to drop the bombs.
Nice.
And there are some people who had a problem with that, but I didn't. So
yeah,
they're doing the Lord's work. Yes. But yeah, so she wants to do Quicksilver. I've often heard of Quicksilver from her before, and I've never seen it. So it must be one hell of a program.
It's very narrow.
Is it?
I've heard of it. It's a very niche piece of software that's used by very few companies.
Okay, well, Boeing must be one of them.
It's got it's designed to have like classified material into it, and Yeah,
Uh,
you can attach security and password levels. It's like really high end.
so
Yeah.
So
it probably
They
won't be
dealt with
affordable
the yeah. They
good luck
dealt
getting a license.
they dealt with the military a lot. So yeah, I
Mhm.
can understand that now. But open the bomb step one, open the bomb bay doors, Mr. Gunn. Yeah, that's pretty much the way it went. I keep seeing slim pickings up there. But anyway, yeah, so yeah, Word is not exactly, it's okay.
But it's the standard. That's the
right.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got to go with if you're doing it for your own personal business. Like I like Pages because I have
Yeah.
OS But if I'm ever going to share a document, and I also have Word on my computer
Yeah.
because you need it, but Pages
Yeah.
will export to DocX, which is
Yes.
great because even they know that's the standard. The standard isn't Pages. Like Microsoft won't export to Pages. They wouldn't give a flying.
Well, what's really interesting when you start getting the realm of PDF, because I'll have authors that send me a PDF copy and say I want it printed, like for print, like we do work for other publishers,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to tell them that your PDF is not PDF 1 2000X compliant, and they'll be like, "What?" And it's like, yeah, there's different compliance levels of PDF, and they're like, I don't understand. So I tell them you have to go into PDF, hit print PDF, select PDF as your printer,
Mm-hmm.
and then go down to
Yeah.
standard and select PDF 2001,
Yeah.
and that's what you have to do. And it's just like, they're like, but I don't want to print it. I'm like, you're not
You're not
printing it.
printing it.
You're
You're
printing.
converting it to the
Right.
2001
Yeah.
PDFX standard. And they're like,
And you ever heard
huh?
of print to file? It's the same
Yeah.
thing, only you're
Yeah.
printing to PDF right there on your hard disk.
Mhm.
Right there on your desktop.
Yep.
Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Yeah, I can understand that's it's kind of hard to get it through their head sometimes.
Well, it's unfamiliar to them, is what it is, because they're used to like I thought a PDF is a. I've heard this a million times. I thought a PDF is a PDF. It's like, no, there's different types of PDF.
Exactly.
So usually I just do it myself. It just saves a lot of
I'm
problems.
telling you, editing that the Rock Junction book the way I did, I learned a lot about what you can do with Acrobat. I was surprised, and it's like, oh, I can draw on stuff. What, I can type stuff on here? Okay.
Oh yeah, that's like that. That's an editor's tool.
Well, I know, but I didn't pay for the full program. That's just.
Okay, yeah. You can now highlight a sentence and make like a little note box where they click on it and says, "Hey, this is what this should say." It's really cool stuff.
That's why I started. And that's why in the middle of it, I was trying to write stuff on my computer. In the middle of it, I found out, I can type. So in the middle of it turns into typing. But yeah, I learned a lot doing your book. So thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so guys, what's going on in the gaming world? I'm sure we got some flotsam and jetsam and crazy stuff going on.
Flotsam and jetsam. Oh,
yeah, it's a vaudeville team. Yeah.
I'm sorry. By the way, Joe V just brought up that I pretty much covered when they got plagiarized on Dragon's Foot. Yeah, I hate people that prey on our own community and do that essentially thoughtlessly, but they feel entitled. And a little background on me. 20 years in the NYPD, I retired as a sergeant out of internal affairs. Not because I thought internal affairs was a great place to be, but because it's where you take care of those that are preying on their fellow officers, right?
Yeah.
Take care. You get the shit, and that's what I did. So very happy, Joe, that I believe everything worked out okay with your situation, because it was really for somebody to take your work and commercialize it on the DMs Guild was excessive bullshit. So
yeah. Yes. Well, Mr. Go wants to know, who is WotC laid off this week?
Hard telling.
Who was WotC? Let's see. Spin the wheel, right? Isn't that like didn't Animaniacs have the wheel of dismissal?
I think that the higher ups have this dartboard with everybody's name on it. And they just go, like that.
I think it's a hat. You just pass the hat, pull a name out.
You know,
Who knows
or
next week?
short straw or whatever.
Alms to the paw. Alms to the paw.
I ain't quite dead yet. Yes, you are. No, I'm not.
You know what they need is a good whistleblower.
Joe B, when you release your Nob supplement, please let me know. I'd like to cover it either on this channel here or on the blog side. Probably both.
I've forgotten what is Nulb again.
Nob is in Greyhawks.
Oh, okay, got it.
You know, it's.
I was thinking somewhere else. Oops.
I got a Nob right here. Right. Can you check out my Nob?
That list of names is very short now. Well, yeah. I mean, who they got left over there? Somebody keep the lights on or what?
Well, their new vice president of franchise. I think it's very interesting because he's been playing with the same group. This is according to his LinkedIn. I got to do a video on his LinkedIn posting, but he has been playing with the same group since he was a preteen, around 12 or 13.
That he claims.
Oh, wow.
Well, he seems to be a bit more wired in than other. Listen, I know Fonzarelli, the new the vice president of the president of WotC. The president of WotC. He looks like the Fonz in his leather jacket.
Yep.
He claims.
I had actually a meeting with him.
Really?
Interesting guy.
Does he? I think he also says he still games with his gaming group or something like that.
Yep. Been gaming for years.
I mean, all right. If you wear a leather jacket at our age and try to look like the Fonz, maybe you do. Maybe you tilt a little different, like many of us do. I will again show off my long golden locks. That's May 2024, last haircut. So
I think you should get a haircut and give the hair to Don.
I'm used to it.
It's
just me. It's just me.
I'm getting there.
The
All I gotta say.
rock, I'm in my 50s. I have knobs everywhere now when I sit down.
Oh, shush.
But
WotC's the only. I don't think there's any other game systems in the news right now.
I believe Shadow Dark is up for a couple of Ennies.
Is it?
I don't know if it's up for a couple.
Do they still pay attention to that award?
Shadow Dark. Well, not Shadow Dark itself, but the Arcane Library is up for fan favorite publisher or something like that. I don't think they have any. Somebody pointed out to me, it's like they don't have anything up for an award, but they're up for a fan favorite. Well, yeah, because when you actually treat your community with respect, and you treat your third party licensees with respect. I mean, and you treat everybody with respect. You know what? People tend to appreciate that.
Imagine that.
Wow. Isn't that incredible?
When you tell half the gaming community to go pound sand if they voted for the wrong candidate, you're probably not going to get the
that's right. Green Ronin.
That's right.
Trauma. For the poor.
Bringing me trauma. Got me kicked out of a convention for it. Oh well, I'm proud.
I need money for my books that are being legally, but technically.
Hey man, I'm trying to get some money together to get back in publishing. You got a buck or two?
It's like, come on, man.
But yet you have hundreds of thousands of dollars in product with Diamond. I'm going to call bullshit on that. I'll just say it out loud.
Well,
I'll be brave enough to say
got product. I'm just going to say they got product.
They got product, no doubt.
I mean,
but how do you have hundreds of thousands of dollars in product? You don't have $9,000 in the bank.
Well, now here's the thing: are they using, or were they using Diamond as their warehouse? So it could be they have nothing on hand, and everything's in Diamond, and it was like their free warehousing. So because Diamond wasn't charging the warehousing, and they weren't even charging you to ship books back to you.
Then why don't they go to something safe? Like go to Ingram, go into Ingram distribution where all Ingram does is POD to people.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to get shitty binding. But what the hell? Why not?
Yeah. Ingram.
I get it all the time. People going, well, Ingram's going to sell me my book for this much. It's like, well, go right ahead because your book is going to freaking fall apart in 2 weeks. So go ahead and have them do it for that price.
I told when I ordered some of the comics that Drive Thru used to publish, POD from Tim Snyder's stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for Crypt World, he'd take an old public domain comic and then he'd give you the stats for the monster and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I have like 6 of those, and the last one was Perfect Bound. And I told him that. He says, "What do you mean they're doing perfect?" Yeah, they did Perfect Bound. You've got a like 8 to 16 page comic book, Perfect Bound.
Yeah,
Terrible.
Staple bound.
They wouldn't. Yeah, that's when they said we're not doing staple bound anymore.
Yep.
Yeah, it's because it's time consuming.
Mm-hmm.
You understand how large like
No
Ingram
stitch
does. Their printing machines and binding machines are all one unit. When you look at them, they look like a big 8 foot wide by 6 foot tall box. Or excuse me, 8 foot tall box. They're 8 by 8, and it's a big long tube like 100 feet long, and everything's printed on one end. And then it's set in order, it's printed, it's bound, and then it's cut all in one order. And they have just like 2 people in the middle looking at the computer. And then they have somebody at the end taking them off and put them in boxes. It's like a $2 million machine.
Wow.
But it just does, it just, it's
does a crappy job.
Well, it's roulette. You can buy 3 cases of books, and one half a case may be really well done. The other half a case might be badly done. You just take your pick, and that's why Ingram offers books so cheap, and so does Amazon, because they use the same machines.
Do they?
Yes.
Well, so far all my basic fantasy stuff, which I bought from Amazon, has held up.
Well, it depends. Is it through Amazon KDP, Glenn, that you're buying from, or is it a producer that ships books to Amazon because they printed and bound it?
You mean third party?
Yes.
As far as I know, it says from Amazon.
Yes, but if it says if it's being shipped from Amazon, it can still be product that's printed and bound. Like us, we're almost done with our Amazon qualification. We will be shipping stuff that we print and bind to Amazon for their warehouse. So when you buy, it's shipped from Amazon.
Right. I mean,
but it's printed and bound by us.
Everything I've gotten has held up. I did no pages out or anything like that.
Yeah, it's not printed by Amazon KDP then.
It's not
Unearthed
Arcana. So
yeah.
By the way, I have a copy of Unearthed Arcana and Oriole Adventures that it wasn't a crappy job.
So is mine. Mine are good. I've had mine for decades.
I hear so many people saying, "Oh, don't get those. The binding's crap."
My Unearthed Arcana was fine, but I think it was the early print. Honestly, I got it right when it came out. Fogley wants to know who got kicked from Page.
All right, I got kicked out of Page as a special guest, and this is the reason why. I'll give a 10-second literal. Fogley or Mr. Gunn and Fogley, what happened was this: I went on DM Bloodworth's page, and all I did was agree with a post that he said about Green Rowan. All I said was spot on. That's all I said. I agree, spot on, and I got my ass booted from Page because I guess I was publicly beefing with the owner of Page, Chris, and I was violating a policy that they refused to show me, refused to give me, and that was unprinted.
Right. So
you didn't get replaced with Bloodworth, did you?
No, actually, Bloodworth is on their shit list, and that's the reason why is because I agreed with Bloodworth, and Ron Meschke, who runs Page right now, is butthurt over Ron Meschke or over DM.
Right. So Green Ronin, one of the partners of Green Ronin, who was a special guest at Page, was only announced. It was never announced at the time on the actual Page. It was only announced on Facebook, so you better catch all the multiple announcements daily that are coming up. But in any case,
after I got kicked out, it was announced.
It was announced earlier, but only
on
Facebook. But yeah, it was announced. I never knew. But in any case, the individual in question, who's one of the partners behind Green Ronin, back in 2015, 2016, put together the infamous Orange List, which basically said if you voted for the wrong presidential candidate, we don't want your business.
I remember that.
And these are the businesses that supported the candidate we don't like, and everybody else should not patronize them.
Yep, they advocated to put these people out of business, basically, based on who they voted for.
Yep.
And DM Bloodworth, Richard called them out like he should as a vlogger. And all I said was, I agree, spot on. That's all I said. No names, no nothing. And then I got called into the principal's office, sat down in front of Ron, Phil, and Ed, and told what a bad boy I was. And when I had the audacity to tell Ron, which dented his ego, literally I said, this is none of your damn business. You should stay out of it. Which what I post privately is none of anyone's damn business.
Yeah.
Well, that offended him, and he told me I was no longer allowed at Page.
John Miller makes a very good point.
Poor baby.
Incredibly petty for Page to ban you for posting a Facebook comment. Spot on in reference to a critique of Green Ronin.
Yep.
You know,
very petty, bad look for Page.
Yep.
I am. There are times when I'm so glad I can only go to one con a year to drop.
Well, I have to admit one thing. It's not like I'm out a hotel room. I would have been if I would have bought one, but they weren't offering a hotel or nothing to me. So I guess what am I out really?
Yeah,
having the ego to say I was a special guest.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I mean, and that's the thing. When you haven't been a special guest and you get invited as a special guest, you're like, oh, it makes you feel great. But once you've been a special guest at other cons and you understand that there are actually usually perks to being a special guest and responsibilities that go along with it, as opposed to just responsibilities and no real perks, I'd already removed myself from the equation. I didn't get, and there's no rumors. I never got banned. Okay, I already withdrew myself as a special guest. For me personally, like last year, I had to leave the convention early because weather was coming in. It's Philadelphia in the middle of winter, which, if you don't know, it's a lot like New York in the middle of winter.
January is a bad time on the East Coast.
Well, Philly's real close, so yeah.
It's a roll of dice. I know there are people out there, because I've heard them go, oh, the weather in Philly is beautiful in July. It never snows. You're full of shit.
January.
January. You're full of shit. Although actually, I did get snow at the Poconos one July, but it was like a sleet storm. It was weird. But yeah, and that's like me saying, yeah, we never get snow. We never get snow in New York in January. It's beautiful. It's a balmy 40 degrees every day. No,
we're still getting spot thunderstorms around here, and it's July.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, Fugly says convention should be neutral ground. Absolutely, they should be. Absolutely, 1,000. And WizardCon will always be neutral.
Yeah. Is that a con? No.
John D. I'd help Green Ronin out, but their politics offend me. That my wife beats me if I spend money. Well, you got two reasons not to spend.
Well, one, I don't think the politics should offend you. The way they go about dealing with something like that offend you.
See, listen, I can guarantee you that the three people you see on this screen here do not agree on politics in general. All right, but you know what we all agree on? We agree that we're friends. We agree on the hobby and gaming, and we agree on the values that are important to us: family, friendship, honor, integrity. If you have those, you can, so why?
If you can fake those,
I like the conventions where politics does not become an issue.
Yeah.
And
I personally hate politics.
I
absolutely detest
it's
politics.
Toxic is why, because no matter what you
post,
know,
I get that. I know I've got like a lot of left friends and some right friends, but anybody who asks me, who you vote for president? My standard answer: none of your business.
Well, I mean, the thing is I try to stay away from politics on my personal
I want to
page.
keep my friends.
Yeah.
That's all.
And once in a while, I will post something political. And Eric, to his credit, has been on my page disagreeing with me. And
Yes.
Eric, I think you'll confirm this. I do not go behind Eric and go, "You mother effer, how dare you not
No.
agree with me? We're not going to be friends again." No, because Eric, this is going to blow people's mind. He's allowed to have his opinion on my page.
Wow.
I know.
And,
I know.
And here's the thing, all right?
I don't.
When Don actually states his opinion on something, he backs it up with why he believes it. All right. If I state my opinion on something, I'll back it up with why I feel that way. So you can have a discussion when there's a why behind it. Well, when people go, "Well, no, the sky is green," and I said so. Well, you know what? Go sit and rotate because we're not having a conversation.
Right.
You're having a dictation. And you're dictating the words, the beliefs.
This is kind of like when you were talking about rebel scum.
Yes.
Them putting their politics in there, and
a lot of places do that, sadly.
Yeah.
But and the thing is, they do it, and it's like a sneak job. Nobody goes, "Hey, we're going to advertise this as," well, usually it's, you pick it up and you go, "Oh, wait, why am I being preached to?" And I got news for you, okay? If you're like me, when Jehovah's Witnesses come to the door, you don't answer, right? You see them walking down the block and you're like, "Oh, shit, honey, doorbell rings, we're not God bless them." Jehovah's, the Mormons, anybody who has to go out there and preach. And why is that? Because you're not converting.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. You don't convert. The vast majority of us don't want. We have our own beliefs. We don't want to hear yours. Whatever. My joke is, I'm a practicing Catholic. I'll never get it right.
They never do.
I'm okay
None
with
of them
it.
do.
Yeah, but I'm bummed. But I don't want to waste the time with somebody. You're not gonna get what you want.
Yeah, because it's like if I posted something on my Facebook and said that, if I said this candidate X is the way you need to vote, I guarantee I would create a shitstorm.
You would,
because a bunch of people disagree with me, and if you get argumentative with them, and I'll just say like this: I have never ever seen a post on Facebook political where someone went, "Oh, you changed my mind." I've never seen it ever.
Oh no.
Engine Joe says, "Remember back when you couldn't tell anyone you played D&D? Remember that? You got your books taken away. People called us devils, all because Pat Robertson, who ran for president, once said so." I'm glad that guy's dead.
Well,
I've never said that about anybody. I mean, look, I'm in the buckle of the Bible Belt, and so I see these kind of guys all the time. Most of the times, yeah, okay, I'm a Christian, yeah, I know, but Pat Robertson get on there, it's like, kill that man.
Well, what I said about Pat Robertson, who pissed a bunch of people off on Facebook, is I said, I hope he's right now standing next to Hitler in hell with a big pineapple behind him. But what's interesting here, though, is what people have to understand is, you can have friends who have varying political ideologies, and I have been unfriended. Probably that is the single most reason why I'm unfriended. Like, I had one lady, it's a friend of my wife's from high school named Shauna. She unfriended me because back years and years ago when my kids were little, like 10, 11 years old,
right.
I took my we had a farm at the time, and they were shooting the AR-15 out in the yard. I was with them, like right over them. I wasn't being irresponsible.
Right.
And she got pissed off because I was having my kids shoot a gun and posting it on Facebook. And she got pissed off at me. My wife will laugh about this, and it's like I told Shauna, mind your own effing business, girl. I'll teach my kids to shoot if I want.
Yeah. And around here, I'm still getting blowback from D&D.
Oh, I took
which was funny. When I played D&D, I was in California. They never bothered us.
Well, interesting enough, I just posted this on my Facebook page. I found an eBay ad, and I reached out to the seller. They're selling a Dragonlance orange spine along with an Unearthed Arcana, and it's from a parent who took a black marker and blacked out every mention of dungeon and every mention of dragon in the book. And they're selling it.
Oh,
And
nice.
I posted, because I reached out to the sellers, like, what's the story on this book? Because they have photos of it. And they said during the Satanic Panic, this parent blacked out, and it was the person who owned it. My mom and dad blacked out every instance of dungeon and every instance of dragon in the book.
Man.
And I caught shit for posting that. It's like, are you serious? It's just a fun post.
See, Becky doesn't.
Becky, the elk has a good point, but I'm going to address it here. The downside for no one knowing the party you vote. The downside for no one knowing the party you vote for is benefits and a downside. You're making an assumption that people have to vote by party line. I don't vote for party line. I vote for candidates. I'm in New York State, where usually the joke is, if you're not a Democrat, you're probably not voting. But for city council, there are some Democrats that I am 100% behind because in New York City, they're sane. All right, they're and the Democrats, and I'm like, awesome. And then there's a handful of Republicans which I go, you're fucking insane. I don't want you anywhere near the city's money. I can vote based upon an individual. I don't vote based upon.
I never vote party. I vote individual.
Me too. Hey, Mad Mike's here. We should get him on here so we can really have a rip-roaring discussion.
Oh my God.
But it's funny when I watch the other shows, I see him and Rob on there. I know, okay, let me go get the popcorn. Because
politics is just toxic. It really is. It's toxic because it is just devolved. I mean, it's not evolving; it's devolved into this. And a lot of people are like this on Facebook, that either and everybody's page is an island. I get it, but it's just turned into this with a lot of people. Either you're going to agree with me politically, or we're not going to be friends.
Right.
And it's like, well, you're going to have a very narrow friend circle.
Yeah. One of the reasons this is kind of a selfish reason, but one of the reasons I'm pushing to get that Gangbusters book out so much is because I want to start a campaign, because I'm doing Becky a favor in not playing fantasy. I will start a Gangbusters game just because, like, 25 years on, she's still a little bothered by me. I mean, she knew going in that I did this, but
so your wife does not like fantasy?
No, it's like in the back of her mind, because her sisters are getting in there too, of the satanic. Like I tell people, they said the satanic panic dies hard in some people. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, it's like what Tom said last night on the blog.
She's like, I'm never going to get him to stop. So
yeah. I mean, some people are bothered by it, but I mean, you can either fantasize about casting spells, or you can fantasize about murdering gangsters and innocent people in dark alleyways. Yeah. Which one would you rather have it?
Or would you?
Oh, 6 of one, a half dozen of the other.
I've heard people like their parents say, "You're not playing Dungeons and Dragons." No, we're playing Gamma World. It's mutants and that's okay.
Yeah,
it's the genre.
Yep.
I rarely vote for a candidate. I usually vote against them. Yeah, no, if you hold your nose, which candidate is least offensive? That's, for me, that's pretty much every presidential election, because neither party can actually give us somebody that.
I always akin it to, it's like somebody walking up to you and says, "Do you want the bullet in the knee or do you want the bullet in the ankles?" They're both going to suck. It's just a matter of what hurts less.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the ankle will heal better. Maybe.
I don't know about that.
I don't know if it shatters they both.
They both suck.
What size bullet are we talking?
True. We're talking 45, 22.
Is it a 45? Is it a
7.62 by 39? What are you talking about?
What if it's a full metal jacket? Maybe you want it to the ankle because it'd be clean. But if it's a hollow point, maybe that's going to be an issue.
Oh my God! But look at us. We're talking we're talking politics.
Well, but we're talking politics. But everyone here is smiling and laughing. Isn't that amazing?
Okay.
Yes,
that is amazing. It is. I mean, everybody ought to save this video on YouTube saying it happened once.
3 people talked politics, and there's a chat full of people talking politics, and nobody's insulting each other and pissed off yet.
We should get a YouTube award for this.
We should actually. I think we should just
We
automatically
should.
deserve a
I gotta
silver
put this
YouTube
in.
certificate for this.
Yeah,
the
put
silver
it in the
plaque.
back there. It's
Yes.
like, I got that for talking politics and nobody got mad at me.
That's right.
The show didn't blow up. We didn't go to hell.
That's because we're not, that's because we're not getting specific. And that's a good
True.
thing. That's a good thing, actually.
Well, I've said this before. There are certain things, like when we were growing up, you need. There were times when you'd have the family gatherings. It's like, oh, we got both sides of the family. No religion, no politics. And then my father would always have to bring up something political, because my father was always trying to stir the shit back.
Becky and her sisters will get into it, but I pretty much know their stances, so it's like, yeah, whatever. So I kind of ignore that. And I never bring up I'm playing role-playing games, and that helps.
And that's the big thing about role-playing games, I think, why they're so popular and why they've been going 50 years strong, is because it's a chance for people to meet and just play the game and have fun.
Yeah, I tell people who have a problem with this, I said, look, role-playing is not a new concept.
No.
People, psychiatrists and psychologists have been doing it for decades.
Kids used to play Cowboys and Indians.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're just formalizing it like war gamers do. So illusion of choice is better than no choice. He's right.
Well, all right. Well, if you insist, Mr. Gunn, maybe we'll have to.
Well, that's
agree to disagree.
Well, that's the main rule for GMs. Give them the illusion of choice.
Yeah, it's really a railroad, but you thought it's not a railroad. It's just limited tracks.
I have a confession to make here on TV on everybody. Eric, do you remember in my game when Tom was in the big pit and he took the potion of levitation? That was not a potion of levitation. It was supposed to be a poison potion. It was the one potion I had in the entire group that I gave you guys that was poison. And I was felt so bad for Tom because you guys had such bad luck. I didn't want to screw him over.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
I confess it here on video.
There are. By the way, and folks, I don't want to ruin the Wizard of Oz moment for you all. All right, but until something happens in game, it hasn't happened.
That's right.
Okay, so until it happens, it hasn't happened. So until that potion is used, it isn't what it is until it is.
Remember.
All right, that's the whole thing about role-playing
GM,
games.
you have all the secrets.
That's right.
Yes,
and nothing happens at that table. I mean, yes, they can say, I want to do this, I want to do that. Fine. It's happening because they said it happens. I can change whatever I want behind that screen.
Here's another thing that we don't normally discuss, right? We're already talking about how politics has no place in our game.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't be any published game, real world politics. However, if you and your group gets off on making everything political and conquering social issues, that's fine, because there's no bad, wrong way to play, because that's your group. But when you put your assumptions on everyone else and say, "Oh no, every game is political. Every politics should be in every session." No, that's your bag. That you're trying to put on
people who want to use X cards at the table.
That they're allowed to use X cards at the table if their group says.
Unless you want to whip out the Avengers Satanus X cards, then they're really going to have a problem.
Well,
that's when you say, "We'll do X cards." Let me go. Hold on a minute. I got my order back from Avenger.
But I honestly, the thing is, when you're when you're publishing an RPG and you put your secret politics on it, you're trying to convert. You're trying to make people play your way. No, let them play as given the rules, if they want to put politics in it, they'll do it themselves. Yeah. Nobody's stopping them. But like, I needed a reason to punch Republicans with the K.
Your game, your way. Have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
because your players are either going to come back for more, or they're going to say, "Listen, I'm not going to play this game.
I'm out of here. I'll go find something else." Yeah. Yeah, that's why that's why conventions are needed. So you can get yourself exposed to other people, and some people.
Yeah.
I've had conventions before where I've actually got one or two pretty good players for my local game because they live near us and they didn't even know what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's the whole thing too, right? Like you were saying before, convention should be a neutral ground. Okay, and Mike has talked about this in the past, especially around a certain election time. People were calling, or emailing North Texas and going, "How do I find out how my GM voted in the last presidential election?"
Are you serious?
Yes. Yes.
Man.
I used to go with my publishing company. I used to get in the initial interview a lot of this. They'd go, "Who'd you vote for?" And then what I would do is I'd kind of change the subject a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then whoever they were leaning to, I would lean that way. Because I found that if I leaned with them politically, they'd sign the contract and they'd want to publish with your company.
Yeah, and you're just the publisher. So.
Just the publisher. And it's like, what does it matter? I tried telling them too. In the interview, I'd go, as your publisher, I have the privilege of being politically neutral. Right. And then they keep pushing it. Then I start talking a little bit, leaning their way, and it makes them happy.
Yeah,
and it's like,
one of my favorite movies up there is Inherit the Wind. And what the guy says is, "What's your opinion on this, sir?" And he's a guy dealing hot dogs. Is, "Don't have an opinion. Bad for business."
Yep, exactly.
Me too.
Here's Mike's full answer on this one. Yes, that actually happened. People wondered if their DMs could wear red or blue name tags to indicate who.
That's my bad, Mike. That's when you give all your DMs a gray name tag.
We get white ones, so.
Well, they'd be screwed at my convention because my convention followed BECME based on what your days were. So you had blue name tags and red name tags and black name tags.
I want a purple one because that's both of them combined.
Purple was actually the staff color.
Well, that's good. At least you know you're neutral. Something like that. Yeah, it's. I didn't know that about North Texas. That's weird.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember when I was talking with Mike about. Yeah, we said that's not happening. No. Yeah, I mean, how could you?
I mean, come on. To me, and also like cons, you hardly ever get a chance to have the right to have a bad game.
But the thing is, you do to those people,
or a good game.
You tell those people, so you want me to make, depending on their political leaning, do you want me to make them wear a red or blue tag? Okay. So should I ask all Jews to wear a golden star on their
sticker
uniform and Christians across, and watch them get offended then and go, wait a minute here. If we're going to go one way, why don't we just go all the way? And then you're a bad guy. So that's the reason why I stay neutral. Who cares the way they politically lean? Yeah. It's like Joe Block.
Yep.
I watched that guy game. That guy puts on a hell of a D&D game. I don't give a shit how Joe Block votes. I would love to sit in on one of Joe Block's games.
Your opinions are. Yeah. Like I said, how good is the game? How good is the GM? That's the important thing.
Bingo.
I mean, this last North Texas, seems like every time Cage come back to the room and I was there, well, how's the game? They all suck. And I thought, good. You're getting that experience. And you can because it's a neutral ground.
That's right.
He's not sitting there. You're not sitting there debating people on opinions of real world stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's no fun.
Yeah.
Jeez. Sometimes you just got to turn your brain off, Yeah.
Engine Joe wants to. I like your question, Engine Joe. Did anybody vote for the oddball like Ralph Nader just to avoid the rest? That is the principle of vote for the least offensive candidate. and I will.
I've gone into the booth and just picked any independent, and just
Yeah,
I've done that
I've
before.
gone libertarian.
Yeah, I've done that before, just because what's on there is so.
I was disappointed Ross Perot didn't get to be in the primaries because I wanted to vote for him.
It's all fixed. That's another thing. These people all think that our
well,
voting process is really like democratic, and come on, people. You know,
but Ross Perot couldn't be in a primary, Glenn, because he wasn't running for as a Republican or a
I know
Democrat.
that's why I wanted to vote for him. Because he wasn't either
Yeah,
one.
but you had to vote for. You had to vote for him in the general
and
election.
not who you expected has an interesting point. He says, is this 762 NATO or 762 by 54R? That's a very valid question. You know what I mean?
Oh my God, yes.
You know, so
yeah, well, you know, it's NATO if you want the compatibility, but
54R.
Oh my God.
The illusion of choice. Yes.
Yep.
That's the whole thing. Have you ever got caught by players?
What?
Well, like changing stuff around.
Glenn, thank you for actually explaining what you meant by Jeff.
Yeah, you ever get caught?
I was afraid where
actually I was called up by Eric at our game because I brought trolls into it, and Eric thinks, because Eric knows stats and I know he knows them, he called me out on my trolls I used, and I had to point out to him that I changed my stats up on my monsters. I don't follow the monster manual,
which is fine. But yes,
Eric, you should be ashamed of yourself.
As an aside, when I got together with my old gaming group from high school and college a couple of weeks ago, they pulled out the AD&D trivia card game from back in the day.
Card game? Yeah, I got that. I've got it.
And after a while, they just said, "All right, Eric, you're a ringer. You got to answer last," because there were ones that I was kind of like maybe I was still right, because back in the day I was the DM, so which meant that if you were going to and folks, this is just my opinion. You don't have to agree with this, but if you're going to run a game, you should know the rules better than anybody else.
Yes, you're supposed to know the rules, but
that doesn't mean good. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. You're fine.
No, that doesn't mean you need to know the book cover to cover. You just got to know better than.
But also,
it's like when a bear runs two of us, I just got to run faster than you. That kind of thing.
But it is the DM's prerogative, though, to change the stats as he wants to.
Oh no, certainly. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, you don't want me running 5e because we will spend a fucking. It already might be 3 hours on one encounter, but you're going to spend an inordinate amount of time because I am not going to be conversant with the rules. I run stuff that's classic OSR because I don't need to refer to the rules. That's the reason why everybody on screen pretty much runs these games. We've been running them for decades, playing them for decades. So when I find new rule sets, I have to find things like Faraway Land, because Faraway Land was so simple but detailed that I could pick it up and say I could run this without ruining the experience for the players, especially at a convention. If you're running a game at a convention, you better be very conversant with those rules, because the players, whether they're paying extra to play in your game or not, paid for that experience to be at that con. And they are expecting at least a good experience. It doesn't have to be amazing, but if you're stopping every 5 minutes to look up a rule, you chose the wrong game to run. That's just my opinion.
I support that. Yes.
But also, but there's a key thing about changing rules as a DM, I think. If you're going to change a rule, go ahead, but be consistent. And that rule change is throughout the entire game.
Right.
And that goes for rulings, right? Old school games are rulings over rules, but you got to be consistent with your rulings. And
the final judgment is after the game.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we've done that when I was running, I guess, Osric and then Axe. We would make people go, they would disagree with my ruling. I'd be like, all right, listen, we're going to go with it as it is. At the end of the session, we'll discuss it. I can retcon stuff if I really screwed up, but I wanted to keep the.
Yeah, you've got to keep the game going. That's
Yeah.
the thing. It's the pace.
Yep.
I will you wouldn't believe what I jettison behind that screen if I feel the game is slowing down, or we're not going anywhere. They get into a fight, I may ignore stats on monsters. I may make up my own stats on monsters at the time. And if you decide to call me out at it, you can take off.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes.
Yep.
Unitas up there.
You get these guys. Well, on page 34, it says an orc only had leave. Okay.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Gunn says it nice. He says, "Nah, Don, we're gonna retcon that shizzle like the MCU."
Yeah. And bad Mike, I use BX as my con rule set. No one ever needs to look at the rule books. Maybe looked up a rule twice in 10 years. Once for the distance of a short bow. I think that's 30, 60, 90.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong.
I mean, I just like to grab the rule cyclopedia and go for it, because I know that game, I know it, and I could probably spit out average damage that some creature's going to do. And if you don't like it, I'm going to make everything D6.
Well, I'm going to tell you what the advantage of changing creature stats are, especially if you're playing against players like Eric who really know the game well. Mm-hmm. What you do is you throw something like a Tarask at them that normally they know damn well is so crazy powerful they would never ever in a 8th level player character group be able to beat it. But your Tarask is like a wolfhound.
Baby Tarask.
Yeah. But by saying what it is, like when I hit him with 3 trolls, Eric is like, "But trolls are this." It's like, but Eric, my trolls are different.
That's okay. That's
and it was designed to scare the party away, but no, not their party. They fight anything they find.
Right.
I'm playing trolls. Damn it, these are my trolls. Since when? Since right now.
When I was actively DMing, a lot of my blog posts were new creatures that I was putting out into the OGL, but they were new creatures because I wanted to have this was stuff that I was putting into my campaign, and I wanted to keep my players off guard. So I would buy stock art, and I could do a nice little post on it. But it meant that when my players encountered it, they weren't expecting this stuff. Yeah. This wasn't something they could remember from the book, So no metagaming, Mr. Tenkar. Hey, listen. Metagaming was a great company back in the day.
It's an art form.
Had a lot of their stuff.
It's an art form.
Well, it's the thing about being a DM, and this is the most critical skill I think you have to have, is you have to be able to think on your feet.
Yes.
And understand who you're playing with. Like I'm playing with Eric Tenkar and Tom Verrill, 2 people I know for a fact know the monster manuals by heart, just about the player handbook, the DMG. I know what I'm dealing with. So they should know for a fact I'm not going to go with the standard, a troll's a troll, a large spider's a large spider, a Tarask is a Tarask.
Some people are so hidebound to the official stuff.
Yes, rules lawyers.
That's like when Mark first came out with Gangbusters. I had to really explain to people the concept of armor class.
Yes.
Why am I wearing a good suit and I have an armor class of 5?
Mm-hmm.
And I put a good hat on, I get a 4.
Yeah.
It's like
would you rather have an armor class of 9?
That's not the way armor class works in this game.
Yeah.
Actually, armor class is supposed to work that way through any RPG. Because it's a combination of protection and your dexterity and
Schmeckens the devil.
Yeah, exactly.
Mark,
there he is. There he is.
Boy, it's like saying it. It's like mentioning the name 3 times in the mirror.
Oh, okay.
Beetlejuice. You mentioned Gangbusters, and Mark shows up. Mark, how you doing tonight?
Are you doing well? Can you stop writing for a moment to be on the show?
As Mark's publisher, I will go ahead and certify that Mark Hunt does not stop writing. I have a feeling he's got a recorder at work that it's hung around his neck that he just talks into it during the day while he's recording and talk gaming.
Hell, I would.
So would I.
Yeah. In fact, I should probably do that more. You know, you hold up the phone and it's like, okay, especially when we're playing a game. Okay, this guy's name is X. Good, got it. I'll get it later. I've never really had problems with names, but sometimes, you know, people do. I don't know where I get these names. They just come off my head. In fact, in the judge's book, he has tables for names.
Yeah.
There, which is nice.
Yeah.
Which,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm waiting. Yeah, I can. Where I told you I have year. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, he rivals.
He's got content.
Yeah, he's got content. All right, boy. I call him the Ed Greenwood of gangbusters.
Yes.
Because from what I heard,
I don't know. I don't know if you want to be the Ed Greenwood of anything. I'm just.
Well, I mean, as far as like content.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Are you saying you weren't saying that like Mark needs a handler when he goes to conventions?
No.
I was just wondering where it was going to go.
That's okay. That's okay. You know, I'm looking forward to WizardCon because I want to meet people I don't normally meet at North Texas. And if he shows up, I'm going to go, oh.
You know what the problem with Ed Greenwood is? Ed Greenwood, I think he has handlers that deal with his email and Facebook.
Really?
Yeah, because he is not on Facebook very often. He's not a big social media guy. And sending emails to him go unresponded. So I don't know if he just gets so much that he's just inundated with it and doesn't respond.
Well, I remember he was doing YouTube videos for a while.
For a while he was, yeah. I don't think he's doing them anymore.
No. That's too bad. They were pretty interesting, actually.
Mm-hmm.
But that's too bad. Yeah, I don't want to get into the people who are banned. I'm not saying he was banned because he never come there, but
yeah.
But
well, my understanding is that Ed Greenwood has a minimum appearance gratuity. Yeah. What do you want to call
He's
it?
a bit bought. Everybody.
Fee, yes.
Well, it's like I was curious one time. I messaged Satine Phoenix, and I said, "What would you charge to come to WizardCon?" Interested in having you because I was just curious. And she said, "No, she literally sent me. It had like." I had to send her, fly her husband at the time, and her entire crew first class. She wanted a $2,500 per. Never forget this. It was a $2,500 per day drink tab for her and her group, and she had this laundry list of items that she needed in her hotel room, and the hotel had to be the suite, had to have a hot tub in it minimum. Yep, and it was like this big long list, like 3 bottles of Cristal champagne. That was one of them. And I never forget this. She wanted yellow M&Ms.
I was going to say no green M&Ms.
Oh my God.
Not red, not green, it had to be yellow. And she had this big long list. And then on top of that, it was a $20,000 fee. I just messaged her back. Wow. Says, well, looks like WizardCon ain't for you.
Yeah.
That's my
and I bet she comes and never runs or is in a game.
Nope, she actually offered that. Part of that would be is she would run games, but that was part of the agreement. She could charge whatever she wanted for her games. And it's like, honey, I think you're dealing with the wrong size convention.
Gen Con's right down the street, okay?
Yeah.
No.
So I had to give the shitty news. And come on, you guys know I got to throw it in there, Eric.
Yeah, I know. But
so I had to give the news just to sit there and say, looks like WizardCon's not for you.
No.
And it was probably like, well, I never heard of it anyway.
Hey, so, I get it, man. I get it.
Does she still do GaryCon?
I'm wondering, is Bad Mike ever going to have Satine Phoenix at his convention?
I hope not. But I don't understand. I don't understand people like that. When I was special guest this year, it gave me a free badge in a hotel. I was over the moon. You know?
I was over the moon at TotalCon. I mean, they flew my ass out even. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like, and you're doing the same thing for me next year at WizardCon. So it's like, I better figure out how to get my ass in there.
But see, the thing is, that's the reason why, and not to bring Satine up as a topic, but what's really interesting about Satine Phoenix is the fact of when you look at where she came from, and you look at where she got to. I mean, she was the spokesperson really for D&D for WotC, and she was literally walking royalty. I mean, she couldn't go to a convention without having court follow her around, and all of that. And what fricked it up? Her and her her husband could not pay a tattoo artist. All the money that they make, they couldn't pay this guy a couple $1,000s for what they owed him. And now look what happened to him. It destroyed their entire empire. Yeah. So that should be a lesson to people. Don't let your head get too big. Come on. Remember where you came from.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. There are some guys that I'm just like, I'm awed at how humble they are in this whole.
Sorry, Bad Mike.
like 2 years in a row, Raggy has come to North Texas.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm surprised to see him there because I know where he lives.
Oh God, he's gonna chew my ass now.
But secondly,
really, Don, really, when is Bad Mike gonna have Satine at his? I was
somebody said
just to watch and listen tonight.
I was just wondering.
You threw a grenade.
Did somebody say Ginny D 3 times? What's he doing?
I would have Ginny D as my special guest of honor and put her in the Hall of Fame before I had Satine even look at the hotel where I was going to be at. So just my experiences with Satine, seeing her at other cons, she was very approachable.
Yeah,
people would come up and talk to her, very very nice, but she was very aloof. I went to a con at Gamehole Con. She was there, and she had to have a booth with Jameson. It had to be near the front. That was one of her demands, so to speak. And I doubt that Alex paid $20,000 for them. There's no way Alex would.
Yeah, I don't know. That was what she required of me. I still have it was via PM that she sent.
But they were barely at their booth, and that was apparently. There is a codicil in there that if you're a special guest, you have to be at your booth X amount of hours, because he's kind of like Archon. You want to be able to meet the people and talk to them, and Archon has no restrictions on, these guys are there and there's no green room. There's no VIP, VIG, whatever. You can walk up and talk to whenever. Well, Alex has this thing where you have to be at your booth a certain amount of time so people can come up and see you and say hi to you. They were barely at their booth. And I know that Alex was not happy about that. Because they were walking around with this little entourage. They had an entourage, and they walked around the whole time, and they did whatever, and that wasn't really what they were supposed to be doing there. And I believe that was the last time they appeared at Gamehole. Well, after that, they had the crash and burn, so makes sense. But I've always I never thought she was a bad person in terms of her appearance on YouTube and stuff. It wasn't until they started doing the typical pump and dump stuff on Kickstarter that it got bad. Hey, we're going to do all this stuff, and oh wait, we're not going to pay people now. And that's how we're going to get by. Is not that's how we're going to make this Kickstarter work. We're not going to pay anyone. And then, of course, the story. Everybody knows the story. Once that came out, everybody came out and said, "Yeah, she didn't pay me either." And then that was the the beginning.
That's the danger of doing that, because you'll get away with it for a while, but sooner or later, you're going to get that first person. It's sort of like that snowball that begins down the hill, and then it's followed by other people, and then the truth all comes out. And look what they lost.
It eventually always does. These guys that are, when you're a guest at a con, and look, it may take a long time, but eventually it comes out. That hey, this guy did this or that. And look, Don will tell you this. Con runners talk among themselves, and we talk about guests. We talk about stuff. And it gets around when somebody's a bad guest or somebody does this or watch out for this. And the word gets out, and there's people I won't name that the word's out about in terms of, hey, if you have this person, they need a handler. And by handler, we mean somebody that's going to stay by them and make sure they don't grab girls' butts or they drink too much. I mean, there's guys like that out there.
I've actually gotten emails from other convention organizers to say, hey, Don, just to let you know, here's a couple of people that you really want to avoid, and this is the reason why.
And
I'm
I always
I'm
believe
seeing-
you
I'm-
make your own decisions, because we have some people at our con that maybe other people don't like at their cons or don't have it, but they've never been a problem to us. And we've had no problem with them, so I understand that. And I would never just blanket call.
Yep.
I wouldn't call Don out of the blue and say, Don, you need to not have X at your con because this. I would never do that. Because most of the time it's not something that is going to hurt other people. It's just something that, this person's not very agreeable. Like this Satine store I was telling, they're not going to be at their booth. You may hire them and you're going to pay them, but guess what, Don?
Right.
They're not going to be at their booth most of the time. And I'm just letting you know, just be careful. If you pay them money, they're not going to do their contractually obligated thing because they're going to have an entourage.
Yeah, because if you're paying a guest, especially if you're paying a guest, you're expecting them to perform, to do something.
Absolutely, it's a contract like any other contract. And the only guests we've had that have an appearance fee where we have Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman, and they have an appearance fee. It's not onerous. I believe at the time that we were going to get them was $3,000 a piece. That's for considering who they are. That's not onerous. They waived the fee. They got around it by saying that as long as you don't announce us as a special guest, we'll just appear. And they were appearing because Larry Elmore was there. Them and Larry Elmore are like three peas in a pod. They do everything together. They work on all their books together. I mean, they're just together. And so Larry was going to be at the con. Larry said, "Would you like Margaret and Tracy?" Like, yeah, but they're not going to come to our little con. He said, "I can get them to come." And sure enough, he called them up. And they said, "Well, we do have a $3,000 appearance fee." And they said, "But if you don't announce us as a special guest, we can just show up." And so that way,
that was nice.
Yeah, that was very nice of them. And so we had a great time with them. I mean, that may be the smallest con they've ever been to, because I think at the time we maybe had 400 people. I mean, it was we were not a big con at the time, but they were really nice. They're super nice. But that's the only time we've ever dealt with anybody who had an appearance fee. And honestly, we wouldn't have paid the appearance fee if we had to pay it. I mean, we're just not going to pay that much for special guests. We have so many guests, and this, Don, running a con. There are so many guys out there that will just show up for a room and travel expenses. You don't need to be paying appearance fees. I mean, for honestly, unless you're getting,
and they're grateful for it too. They're grateful to come for that.
Even when we talked to Joe Manganiello, he did not demand an appearance fee. He was just going to show up, and he said, "Hey, I'll show up." But he also did don't really announce me as special guest, which worked out good because he couldn't show up. He was getting a divorce from Sophia that year, and kind of cut into his game time that year. But he didn't even want to appearance fee. What now?
Did he get a share of the espresso money in the divorce?
I wonder if he was going to bring bubbles. He didn't say he was going to bring bubbles.
Look at that big table he bought.
I'm getting images of the ghost of Ken St. Andre.
I wonder if Joe was gonna. We had Joe lined up, but it just didn't work out. But like I said, he wasn't going to charge an appearance fee, which is, like I said, we would not hire anybody to charge an appearance fee, because I can't think of anybody in our hobby right now that we have to have so badly. I mean, I'd love to have Weiss and Hickman back in, but and I would understand if they wanted us to pay an appearance fee because we're a bigger con now, but we just wouldn't. We just go, there's other authors we can have on. There's other people we can get. There's other.
You have a surplus of special guests.
I mean, if we're really desperate, we'll get Glenn again if we're super desperate.
Well, I mean, when you're at the level like 550. It's not the fact that your con's not big. I mean, you got a good sized con. That's what we're aspiring to become, right around that amount. You're actually my model, Bad Mike, for my convention.
Thank you. That's good.
But at your level, you're already at what, 420, 430 tickets sold already?
Yeah, we'll have we'll sell out. We'll have 600 people.
Yeah. So you don't need that, but
no,
Gen Con and places like that, it's worth the money to them because they will draw people to their convention for Margaret Weiss and Tracy.
As a matter of fact, Eric, do you remember a friend of ours, Stacy? That's all I'll say. She was angry because the last year she was at Gen Con, they paid a gigantic appearance fee to who is the girl, the lady. I'm sorry. You remember? Oh gosh, I'm ruining this story. I
don't remember.
You know what I mean, though. She's a big wig in the computer gaming, and not in RPG gaming. They paid her like a $20,000 appearance fee, and our friend Stacy had a absolute freak
No
out
doubt.
rant over that, because how dare you pay? I'll remember the name later. It's somebody that's really big in the computer. It's a female in the computer game industry, and so her thing was, well, this isn't a gamer, and how dare you, But Gen Con's a convention, or whatever. But that was, and I remember thinking at the time, I wouldn't have paid her $20,000 either. Stacy's right. That's way too much to pay for an appearance fee for somebody that's a computer.
But Stacy was bitching and complaining because her funding,
right? That was what she was mad at. Is the spotlight was on somebody else,
yeah.
not her stuff, and they were giving money to somebody else. But it's Gen Con's money; they do whatever they want to. But that to me would be for this person. They're a famous person, but they're not famous in the game industry necessarily. And that to me was ridiculous amount to pay for an appearance fee for somebody who not.
Yeah, I believe it was. Oh God, she was in.
Was it Sarkeesian? Was it Sarkeesian? Engine Joe? I think it might have been Sarkeesian. Was it Sarkeesian?
Sarkeesian?
I think it was.
Wait, Anna Sarkeesian?
Yeah, I think it was.
Wait, the pundit from the what do you call it? The Young
Yes.
Turks?
Okay. Yeah, it was Anita Sarkeesian was a guest of honor that year, and yes.
Wow.
And that was 7 years ago. Okay, I'm looking here. So yes, that was when that happened.
But she's video game.
Right. She's not. And then a lot of it wasn't just our friend. It was a lot of people that were like, "Why are you paying Anita Sarkeesian? She's a pretty wealthy, well-off, person in media. You're paying her this giant appearance fee to appear at Gen Con, which." When you get somebody to appear at your con, you're saying, who is this person going to bring in also? If we have this person special guest, who else is going to come to see this person? But in the terms of gaming, I don't know a lot of gamers sitting on the table go, man, I can't wait to see Anita Sarkeesian.
I don't know a lot of people that know who she is even in tabletop
but
gaming.
You know what? But if you were trying to bring her in for political reasons,
I think that's what this is 7. Remember, this is 7 years ago, so that was probably the climate was right to have her as a special guest right then. But she didn't add anything to the show, and like I said, I think that's just a waste of money. I mean, it doesn't make any sense because it wasn't like they were getting one of the founding fathers of gaming or anybody.
You were getting Gary or something.
Or just any. I mean, Gary was there. Gary used to come to Gen Con all the time. So did Dave. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to get these hangers on to the industry and pay them a lot of money. So,
all right, I'll leave.
And look, not you, Clint. There's plenty of people out there. There are some great old school names out there that, they just want to come to your con so bad. And they just love to interact with people and they're great guests and, and you can just run down the list. I mean, Don and I, our shows have these guys. Pretty much everybody there is somebody you want to see.
You're always pulling in at least the core of the OSR. People like Merle.
Merle's a blast to have.
And Bunny Burroughs, Dr.
Dr. Sestaire is great.
Sestaire, Dennis Sestaire. He's fun.
And by the way, we're gonna be doing a real big 50th anniversary of Bunnies and Burrows at North Texas next year. We already have some plans. We've got some.
All right.
We've got a birthday cake. We're gonna try to get. Dennis did come this year. He's 85 years old. It's hard for him to get around, but he lives in Austin. He drives up, and we're gonna try to get him again next year. Maybe his last time.
This year. Dennis was here this year, wasn't he?
Yep, they were. Yeah, he was here this year. Dennis had not been here for 3 or 4 years.
A birthday cake. Is it going to be carrot cake?
That's Glenn, that's a great idea. But no, Dr. Robinson was here too. But those guys are out there, man. I mean, I know a lot of people haven't heard of Scott Robinson and maybe haven't heard of Dennis Sestaire, but they were around in the very beginning. I mean, and so these are the guys you want to really have at your con. Yeah. Not the big flashy names that.
Well, they're getting old too, and what they can bring to your convention, they can show younger people also. Teach a little history.
Yeah.
We got Tom Wham coming this year.
They have story. I mean, the stories.
Wham's coming?
Yeah, Wham's coming this year.
Right.
To WizardCon.
Oh, that's great, Don.
Him and Kim George.
He hardly ever travels. That's amazing.
I'm looking forward to it because I think I have a better than even chance to see Frank and
we got Menser coming. We got Tom Wham
and Mike Carr. It's just too far to travel. He easily may or may not come anymore because of the travel. But I'll be seeing all these guys at EggCon next week, which would be nice. But we can't. There's a lot of those.
Oh, you're going to EggCon?
Yeah, going to. Yeah.
Me and my wife are going to be there Saturday.
Oh, really? Okay. Well,
Yeah,
great.
South
We'll
Belfort meet you.
We'll get to meet in
Yeah.
person. That's awesome. Yeah, we're Zach and I will be driving up next week, so we'll be there I think we're going to end up being there Wednesday night. We were going to stay in Madison. We decided we're just going to drive all the way down. So we'll be there from Wednesday night till Sunday night. So
It's like a 4.5 hour drive for us. We'll drive there in the morning and spend the day and go home at night. But
very cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, meet you in person. That'd be good.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, but you're lucky. Those like I said, the Midwestern guys, you guys get all those guys that we can't get. Travel. Like I said, Tom doesn't really travel. I know Mike Carr doesn't really travel. Jeff really doesn't travel anymore.
Well, I think Tom travels because of Kim George, because we're having Kim George also, and she's I think could be one to bring them.
They're buddies.
Yeah.
So, but you get good people. I
think
we're lucky what we get.
Ask. You just have to ask people.
That's exactly what I'm finding out. Just reach out to them, ask them.
Frank Metzger said something really knowledgeable about like the first or second year we had him, because we were really shocked that we got him and Tim Kask and Rob Kuntz our first year when we had like literally 50 people. We had 50 people. Yeah. And Frank said, no, you don't understand. The guys that I grew up gaming, or these guys, this group of people, if you pay their way and pay for a hotel room, they will show up because they just want to interact with the fans. And he's right. We've really never had anybody say no. I'm not going to do that. They've always given us the time of day and said, oh yeah, we'll definitely come up there. Now you have to be fair about it. You can't just say, hey, show up and we'll give you some meal money. That's not going to work. You got to.
But at the very minimum, you pay for the hotel, you give them the badge, you give them a little something on the side too to help them out.
Don and I were two people who could push Mark to North Texas if we have to.
Yeah, Mark is a blast at a convention.
Mark had a whole lot of fun a few years ago, but every year
we had him a couple of years ago. We didn't have a special guest.
Yeah, you did.
He came, but he didn't come as a special guest. I'd like to have him a special guest.
I mean, I kept saying we got to, you can stay in a room or whatever, and it's like
we'd get him a room, obviously, but
he'll run. The thing about Mark, I stick up for him on this. When he's at your convention, he runs games all day long.
That's the best guest. That's the best.
And he will step out and he'll grab people. Like he'll see people mulling around where the games are all listed. Like, you want to play a game? Come on with me. Come on. It's like, damn, Mark.
I didn't play in any of his Gangbusters games when he was there, but I did get into one of his Tall Tales games. That was fun, doing the Western thing. Absolutely fun.
Yeah, he actually sold a lot of copies of his Tall Tales at North Texas. I remember that because
we are going to be republishing that for him.
There's not a lot of great Western role-playing games out there.
He said he had 35 copies of first edition Gangbusters, and he sold out like before the con.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, he is a good salesman. I mean, he knows how to push stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He is. I tell you what, just to toot his horn, for somebody pushing, which is basically a dead game, because I didn't know anybody that played Gangbusters except for Glenn. Was the only person I ever heard talk about what a great game it was. I mean, nobody was playing Gangbusters 10 years ago at conventions. Nobody was really playing it ever anywhere. It was a dead game. It was literally a dead game. And the work he's done to bring that game back to life.
Yeah, but it's so much fun.
Well, you think about it. He took a core book that was 64 pages, and now it's 198. So look at all that content he's added to the BX edition. It's just crazy.
And I told Don, I read the PDF of the judge's book he's working on, and it's like, this has got to be one. I mean, I said that the Rock Junction, the core book should be like the 3 books you get when like AD&D first edition. This should be the Player's Handbook. This should be the Dungeon Master Guide. This should be the Monster. Well, I don't know about Monster Man, but you get the idea. He just turns that stuff out, and he doesn't even think about it. He just churns it out. I don't know how he does it.
I just it reminds the whole spirit of the OSR was taking things that were popular 20, 30 years ago and updating them and bringing them to a modern audience. And that's and it sucks we're never going to have that with Star Frontiers, and we all know the reason why, unfortunately. But it's great that you have these games that nobody plays a lot, and then you have them at convention. That's why I love having Dr. Robinson, Dr. Sestera at North Texas, because we may be the only convention in North America that has regular bunnies. Well, for a while, where I think Paige has them now also, and whoever, and I think Dr. Roberts has been a guest at a few other cons, but for a while we were the only convention that had bunnies and burros. And when I asked Dennis when he ran it for the first time, 10 years ago, he goes, I don't think it's been run at a convention since the 90s. He said, because that's the last time I ran it, and I've never heard of anybody else running it at a convention.
Well, I'm sure that there's a big old push for the OSR stuff, I think, out there. And I think sooner or later Wizards of the Coast is going to be looking at it and saying we need to maybe take a look at maybe some looks at some of the more older materials. But
Mark's there. Hey, Mark, it's good to see you, man. Congratulations to Mark for, like I said, taking a dead game and making it making
it alive again.
Yeah, making it alive and making it so it's actually run at cons and people are talking about it. And I think
don't worry, I'll be at WizardCon in North Texas next year to preach the gospel of gangbusters.
The gospel of Glenn. Flint wants to know the name of the person who refs
the judge.
We call him
the judge. Yeah.
The judge. Okay, it was Don, the commissioner,
the judge,
the buster,
the alderman. I don't know. Whatever.
How corrupt do you want to be, Glenn? How corrupt do you want to be?
So Glenn, are you a Call of Cthulhu fan at all?
I used to run it years ago.
To me, I'm just me looking at it. I think a Call of Cthulhu Gangbusters adventure seems to be like right there.
So there's actually going to be, Bad Mike. There's going to be a Gangbusters a monster book. We'll call it that. It's not Call of Cthulhu, but it can definitely kind of take on that spiel, that flavor.
Because every Call of Cthulhu game we used to have set in the 20s, there was always 2 or 3 players that wanted to play a gangster because they got to use a Tommy gun, of course.
Right.
And so they would be the bodyguards, and then eventually they would be the red shirts because the guy firing the Tommy gun at the Cthulhu worshipers was going to get killed first. But they loved that. They thought that was the cool. Oh man, I get to use a Tommy gun, and I'm going to mow down deep ones, and it just seems to be you could be a bootlegging thing. And then when you investigate it, it turns out they're working with the deep ones to do. I don't know. I think you could work it in there, and it would make sense.
I remember a Call of Cthulhu game I read out of one of the scenarios out of the Blood Brothers book, where they did different genre types aside from some Lovecraft, and I did the mob versus vampires, and the players were playing the mobsters, and at one point they had to go to the hospital to get one guy who was pretty beaten up, and they wanted to get information. Oh, I'm sorry, you're not the family. We can't give you blah, blah, blah. And they're all looking at me going, what do we do? What do we do? I said, what are you? What? Mobsters. What do mobsters do? And so the guy closed the curtain on the window, and then they started roughing him up. It's like you're going to get the information one way or another. It's just how do you do it? This is how.
Mm-hmm.
Put the close sign on the door.
Yeah.
We're good.
Now listen, Doc.
I'm gonna give you a couple of dollars. You walk around the corner, and we're gonna talk to this man here. You just want to take a walk get a cup of coffee at the cafeteria.
Harry, go get a haircut.
Yeah. We'll be back. We'll be here when you get back.
Yeah. I may run out. See, I stopped running Call of Cthulhu because I ran out of ideas. I thought Call of Cthulhu was kind of one of the harder things for me to come up with. And basically, I felt like I was module bound. I was going to say, I'm going to run out of module.
Now there's so much material for Call of Cthulhu. You don't have to have an imagination anymore. There's every genre, every time period, every whatever.
Yeah.
There's a
ton of it out there.
Yeah, there's a ton of that stuff. It's easy to find a Call of Cthulhu background or. I mean, there's adventures written for Russia in the 1930s, and
I used to have horror on the
2090. I mean, there's anything you can think
I used to have horror on the Orient Express. Yeah.
Oh, I got the Kickstarter from that.
Did you?
I don't. Never read it. I leafed through it and went. The box is like yay tall. I'm like, there's no way I'm ever gonna get through this. Never.
Great.
But stop looking, Mike. Stop looking.
I have my Master Jarl tip up here, but it's the giant.
I had the original.
Yeah, I got the original. I have every version of Master Jarl tip, including the box version. I just think that's the best. Probably one of the top, not even 10, top 3 RPG supplements of all time.
I've got
good.
the original Arkham Horror.
Oh,
Not
wow,
the
nice.
new one they
Nice.
redid, but I got the original Arkham Horror somewhere in storage or something. The box, everything in it, it's great.
Oh, the board. Yeah, I got that. I got that also.
Yeah.
I always wish I could have played that more. I couldn't find anybody to play that with, unfortunately. That was before the golden age of board gaming. Now, last 10 years, when now it's just
Yeah.
board games are there's so many great board games out there.
I never get around to it. I keep thinking I'm going to bring a board game to North Texas. I never get around to
We have a board game library that we haven't used in years because we're such an RPG oriented con that we have games and people have played board games in the con before, but we just stopped bringing them because people stopped asking about them. They
still do. You still
our
do.
con, they want to mainline RPGs. That's what they want.
I mean, you still do like Gladiator and Circus Maximus and stuff, which is technically board games. So I don't know. I mean, I remember like Full On Gamer going there and running BattleTech for a couple of weeks.
Oh, but BattleTech doesn't count.
Why is that?
BattleTech is
We have people go there.
BattleTech,
They play stuff like Lords of War. I mean, we have, like I said, we had a bunch of. We used to bring this giant container of board games, but then it got used less and less. And at a certain point, Gary and I just said, look, they're just not playing. They're not coming to our con to play board games. They're coming to our con. They want to mainline RPGs. They just want to play an RPG every day. They want to play all kinds of different RPGs. And we do have a variety of RPGs. And that's just what our con's identity is RPG.
I've never seen somebody ask about board games at North Texas.
By the by, Mike, how many people left that board game in their room that you were giving away?
I know I did. I paid my fee to restock it.
I wanted to take one of your tables.
It was a brilliant idea on Gary's part. We're down to, we don't really have any copies. We maybe have 2 copies left. So it worked out great. We got rid of 100 copies of that god awful piece of garbage game that we were gifted. And it worked. It was a great bit. It was hilarious. And so most people, a lot of people took it. A lot of people took their copies. They don't know how bad it is, and so they took it home, opened it up, played it, and thought, "Oh my God, this is terrible!" Because it is. It's a terrible game.
I was going to take one of your tables too, but Gage and I couldn't fit it in the car.
Oh, the fold-up tables. I wish you could have. Yeah, those aren't too bad. We're just cleaning that stuff out. After a while, the warehouse starts. It's been 17 years now. There's just so much stuff in there.
See, Don, this is what you got to look forward to running.
Yeah, exactly. You'll start following it up, Don. After a while, you're like,
pretty soon, Bad Mike's going to give you stuff. Can you get rid of this?
Well, we used to give stuff away. Like we had, when we would get new table mats, we would donate our old table mats to other conventions. And so we did that a couple of times, but the mats we have now are really, really good. They're probably not going to wear out. The ones we had would wear out after 5 or 6 years. These are probably not going to maybe ever wear out.
And thank you for actually supplying some wet erase markers, because I packed and I grabbed the wrong thing and it had my ink markers in there. It's like, no, this is not what I need. And I think Gage or somebody went over and says, yeah, they have them over here.
Well, every year we'd have somebody write on our wet erase with a dry erase or vice versa. That was always a mess.
Or a Sharpie.
Yeah, then you had to scrub it and try to get it off, and sometimes you couldn't.
I'm surprised you still have.
That's why you have the gel.
I'm surprised you still have those cardboard dice towers.
Yeah, those were all handmade by Doug, and we still have quite a few of those. And
folded.
Every once in a while one would disappear, but that hasn't happened in a long time. We haven't had one disappear in quite a few years. That's what's great, about the crowd that comes. They respect the stuff. And I wanted
to take one, but you told me where they got it, so I bought a couple off.
We might have some unassembled ones. We may still have some unassembled ones in the warehouse. I'd have to look.
Well, this is my dice tower right here. It's my drink koozie with a dice tower built into it.
Nice.
All together.
Yeah.
Well, folks, I am going to pull the plug on.
Oh no!
We are past the 90-minute mark, which Glenn and I only usually do about an hour. And it's a Friday night, and apparently I got to start a new sensor for my glucose.
Oh, you got one too. I got mine.
I got the
freestyle. Yeah,
Yeah.
and now
Hey,
the new app for the Freestyle 2 continuously updates. You don't have to
yep.
scan it
Good.
anymore.
And guess what I
So-
got this week? I got the Omnipod, and so I will be when I get back from that's the automatic delivery system. And so I finally
Oh,
got it.
wow.
I need to register it, but I won't be doing that until I get back from EggCon. But I'm really excited about that. That's
Cool.
the 21st century,
Very
baby.
cool.
It's, when I need a shot now, it's just going to immediately say, "Oh, your blood sugar's too high," and just zip me in. That's awesome.
Nice.
Robots will be taking,
I
robots
had
will be
a-
taking care of us pretty soon. And I foresee a world of happiness with AI and robots taking over. It'll be.
Oh, by the way,
Oh,
Flint,
yeah.
Flint asks if you guys talked about watching new starter set and the price point of $50.
I know. I thought no, we haven't talked about it.
I didn't even know they had it.
And
That
Wow.
sounds like a good.
oh yeah, it's they're blaming tariffs.
Okay.
I'm just saying. We'll get to it, but not tonight. Glenn's our regular. Don, thank you.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
thanks,
Thank
John.
you.
And Bad
Thanks,
Mike.
Yeah. Thanks for letting me pop on
Yeah,
before
no
dinner.
problem.
Appreciate
No
it.
problem.
Yeah, Mike,
I will.
thanks for
I will
joining
see you
us.
next week, Don. That'll be
Yeah.
awesome.
We'll be there Saturday. Me and my wife. So
We'll be wandering around.
Stick around for a
Um,
few afterwards, Don. I want to ask you something.
okay.
Live stream tomorrow, Rich and I, Gamers Health returns. Glenn and I will be back some random day during the week.
I think the next time we're going to be doing a daytime show next week with Glenn Seal.
Oh, won't
yeah,
be random.
Thursday,
Hold on
yeah.
a second. Oh wow, we're already up there to 21st.
24th.
Holy crap. 24th. I have the 21st now. Oh, I got them down twice. Okay. 24th at 1 p.m. Eastern time.
Noon for
I'll
me.
make sure we share it out. This is Glenn Seal, Monkey Blood,
Midderlands.
rapper, artist, the Midderlands. So should be a good time. This man below, he hooked it all up. He got it done. So it's gonna be a good week.
Yeah.
That's all I can
Yes,
say.
it is.
All right, folks. As usual, be safe, be well. God bless. Roll those dice. Roll them well.
Good night, folks.
You'll catch all of us online doing videos at some point. We